Broken record time. You know, you've heard us rail on and on about the incredible value that the wines of Spain can present to you, the fine wine buying public. And I'm here to hammer that point home again. On our most recent trip to Spain in April, had the good fortune of meeting up with my old dear friend, Jorge Ordóñez, a very famous importer of Spanish wines into the United States. And we met at one of his properties, Bodegas Breca in Catalunya. And to say it was a eye-opening experience would be, you know, that doesn't do it justice. We got to the winery. First thing we noticed was incredibly windy. We're in Aragon, so we're in the north central part of Spain. You know, we're a couple hours east of Rioja, a couple hours west of Barcelona, kind of out in the middle of nowhere. And in this area, this is where Grenache originated. This is the ancient land of Grenache. Aragon in particular was ground zero, but then extended out to Campo de Borja and Priorat, et cetera, et cetera. So basically we were in the ground zero for Grenache on the planet, right? Like, I think of the Leakeys, you know, I think of like, you know, just the mankind 4 million years ago and digging up bones. And that's kind of like what we're dealing with here with Grenache on a global level. And there's a reason why Jorge set up shop there, because he knows this. So he was like, I can find really cool old vine Grenache vineyards, buy them, and make fabulous wine for almost nothing from the oldest Grenache material on planet Earth. Yeah, if you're a wine dork, that sounds pretty friggin' interesting. And it was. Getting back to it, incredibly windy and cool as we made the drive up. Then we're at elevation here, and it was like cold. We needed jackets when we did the vineyard tour. And we didn't need jackets when we were in Rioja or in Barcelona. You know what I'm saying? So people think about Spain as this incredibly hot, baking place. And yes, it does get hot during the summer, but most of Spain is at elevation. So you have these diurnal temperature shifts. You have these hot days and cool nights, and you have these valleys and troughs and areas where cold wind can focus and blow through. And long story short, the weather here combined with these soils makes these wines so interesting, so fascinating, so beautiful. We toured these vines, gorgeous old vineyards. You know, for the Breca El Nacido 2022, this is Jorge's gateway drug into the Garnachas from Catalunya, from Aragon. And so it's made from the young vines. Sorry guys, it's made from the young vines. Planted between 1965 and 1980, right? The young vines in this cuvee are 42 years old. And the old vines are thankfully older than me, 57, 58 years old. So 40 to 60-year-old vines go into this wine. And these are the young vines. And these are head-trained, scraggly little vines, barely sticking out of the soil, trying to fight the elements. And when you see it, when you see the mountains and you see the Tres Picos, the three, you know, and it just all comes out in front of you, you say, how can this wine be this price? It's amazing. I mean, this terroir is, you know, Chateauneuf has easy terroir, you know, compared to some of the rigors of growing grapes up in this neck of the woods in northern Spain. It's really, really fascinating. So anyway, we had a fabulous tasting with Jorge, had a great lunch, hung out. Wife got a little tipsy. She likes Grenache, apparently. But in the end, we had this experience, which we were blown away from the first wine. The tasting was amazing, but this wine, like, set the tone for the whole lunch, for the whole gig, the tasting, the day. This one set the tone, El Nacido. So, like the birth, right? So basically, this is that old clone Garnacha, the oldest clone of Garnacha on the planet, and minimally handled. Most of the wine is aged in concrete, and also any leftover 500, 600 liter barrels, demi-muid, all older stuff, no new oak anymore. I think there was some stuff with Jorge stuff, you know, a few years back where there was a bit of new oak being used, and I see them pulling back on this. And the purity and transparency of this wine for the money is shocking. So good, so Grenache. Warm vintage, but high-toned. There's an element of brightness to this wine. There is energy here, which with Grenache I love, because Grenache can so easily lay down. Oxidative grape variety can sit there and go like, I'm just gonna be like porty and dumpy and this wine does not do that. This elevation, these soils, the style of vinification, all leads to creating this Grenache full of fruit, but also bright, vibrant, energetic, vertical to the core. Absolutely smashing wine. Delicious. We were hoping to do this deal before the Dunnick score came out, but no, unfortunately, Dunnick posted his number and we were like, no, so we acted fast. Bought a bunch of cases. You need this wine. 94 points from Jeb Dunnick. Basically makes it, he hands out some numbers, but still, 94 points for a $15 wine from him. That does not happen every day. And it's the exact same score that he gave to the Next Level Up cuvee from Breca, which also is outstanding. We'll get to that later on. But for now, it was like, let's start at the foundation of Grenache, the ease, the transparency of it, and move towards bigger and maybe more interesting wines. Well, not more interesting. I'd say bigger, but maybe not more interesting than El Nacido. This is an absolutely shameless, beautiful, stunning, vibrant wine from Jorge. Great lunch, thank you, sir. Beyond that, the wines are sensational. Kudos to you, sir. $15, are you kidding me?